Welcome to Common Computer Private Limited, e-learning program of hardware and networking. We are going to discuss about disk management in Windows 10. So what is a disk management? So we have hard disk and we are installing operating systems and storing data inside the hard disk. So the minimum requirement of the hard disk is if you are purchasing from the shops or getting a computer from the market. So first thing what we have to do is create a partition and format the hard disk. Then only you'll be able to install the operating system and start storing the data. It's not like you are directly plugging and start storing the data. So there are prerequisites to be done to be able to accommodate the data. So now, in case of new installation process, the OS gets booted and during the initial stage itself, it is creating a partition and go ahead and formatting, and then it installs operating system in it. Later point in time, after booting into the computer, we will go for creating additional partitions or do any extra activities like that. So disk management is nothing but managing your hard disk partitions in an effective way, like adding the partition, creating the partition, deleting the partition, or shrinking the partition. So anything can be done with the help of the disk management. So Microsoft, they are giving the inbuilt tool as a disk management tool, which is a user friendly and easy to work. So with the help of that disk management tool, we are going to manage our hard disk. There are different kind of scenarios available. So for all the scenarios, the disk management tool will be uh, helping you for creating and managing the partition. So let us see what are the things we are going to perform. So how to get into disk management? So either you can click on the start menu and select disk management, that is Windows key and Windows key and X key. You will get right click option. So that menu will pop up and you can select disk management, or you can go to run and type disk management.msc. So while saying we'll say disk management, but the spelling you have to see disk mgmt.msc. That's a program available in the system. So if you click on that command, if you run that command, you will get the disk management window that will show you how many partitions available, how many disks available. Here it is disk 0 available with approximately 60 GB capacity, and you have CD-ROM connected with the 6 GB capacity. So the third option is you can directly type disk management in the search option, and you will get the exact one, like create and format hard disk partitions. So if you click it, you will get that window, disk management console. So how to create a partition? Let's have a demo. So now what we are going to do is in this demo, the we are having a existing operating system installation available, and it is with single disk, right? So single partition, single disk and single partition. We don't have additional disk. So what we are planning to do is we wanted to split two partitions so that one will hold the operating system, the other will be used for keeping the data. So the best suggested way is having at least two partitions so that you can safeguard your data, because if you keep only one partition and sometimes the OS is crashing, so you'll have to go for formatting the system, formatting the C drive, then installing the operating system again. So we can avoid that kind of problem if we go for two or more partitions. So in this scenario, we are going to just modify the partition in the existing system. This is already Windows 10 installed system. So in that we are going to just trying to modify the partition. Let us see and how it goes. So Windows key R, going to the disk management. I'm seeing the window now, whatever I have shown you, like one disk with one partition C drive as 60 GB. Okay, so this approximate 60 GB. That one is a CD drive. You cannot create any partitions. Dark blue means primary partition. So all of partitions, whatever we see here, it is a primary partition. So what I'm trying to do is, I don't have any extra partitions with 60 GB, so I'm trying to shrink the existing partition and trying to create a free space so that I can move the data from C drive to some other drive. So what I'm seeing, overall capacity, then current storage capacity. So it is now filled with the data of 3940 GB, approximately 40 GB data is available only with the operating system. So what I'm doing is I'm selecting 45 GB. So you can round it off. It will calculate and take the binary value, that is 1024, that value. So we'll have to type the decimal number, round off to the nearest number. So I'm taking 20 GB. So selecting the option as shrink. So once I'm giving that, so the system will start calculating the available space. And since it was 35 GB, so I just took 40 GB because we cannot live without space, right? So we should have some extra space. So there will be 5 GB extra space with the operating system. I'm getting another disk with 10 GB, 20 GB. So it is showing the size. So I'm assigning the drive letter. So I can create additional partitions from here. So what I'm doing, I'm taking 10 GB. I have 20 GB, so I'm taking 10 GB here. So I'm just going for formatting. So it is doing the format automatically, right? So I'm just choosing to format it once it is completed. Now this is unallocated space in black color. I'm creating a simple volume. I'm assigning a drive letter. So I'm taking the entire free space available. So now what I'm planning to do is do not assign a drive letter. And here it is asking to format, and I can give the volume name also. Just giving go ahead. So how to assign a drive letter? Just right click, change drive letter. So automatic assignment, if or you have some other assignment, you can give. So I'm going for selecting the format. So let me choose the FAT32 formatting. Just I wanted to try with FAT32 format so that in a later point in time we can try converting FAT32 into Ntfs. Okay, now the format is completed. Just checking in the system drive. It shows 10 GB, approximately 9.75 GB FAT32 partition. But most of the time Windows 10 recommends to have um, Ntfs partition to have all the benefits and features. So now you're seeing all the options available here in this tab. For sharing the folders and files, we have to come here. So in case of yeah, permissions, so share permissions will get only three: full control, change, read. In case of NTFS, if I go and see the sharing option, same sharing, security side, if I go and see, I'll see more number of permission set. So this is the best difference between FAT and NTFS. So this is the FAT partition now, FAT target volume. So I'm trying to convert this FAT into NTFS by command prompt. The command for converting the FAT partition into NTFS is convert F colon FS colon NTFS. So it means file system. FS means file system. So if you're not giving the volume, that is the volume name, it is not going to accept it. So I just tried a wrong volume name. So it is giving me the error. I have to give the correct volume, otherwise I'll not be able to convert the partition. So this convert command is a command prompt, command based option, what we are doing here. So this will not impact my data. Suppose this NTFS partition has, I mean this FAT32 partition has some data. Um, if I run this command, it will not affect my data. So I'll be able to use my applications or data as such without any impact. So that is the advantage of using this convert command. Whereas if I right click and do a format in NTFS, it will erase my data. So there are third-party tools which will do this kind of activity in a graphical manner. I'm just running the command again, F colon FS file system NTFS. Actually, the volume name, what is that? FAT32 volume. So that I have to type here. Otherwise, no, it will not accept. So I tried with multiple names and multiple options, so it is not accepting. So once I type FAT32 volume, that is the correct syntax. So this is taking the output. So now my FAT32 volume is converted into NTFS volume. File system completely changed without impacting the data. So if I refresh and see, so this F colon system volume label is not changed, but the partition is changed. So it is partition is NTFS. So deleting the volume, just right click and delete it. Nothing. So if you are not sure about the volume, try to take a backup of your data so that it is not affecting your data. Okay, just creating partition again. So I'm saying do not format the partition now. Just finish. So what I can do, I can just right click. It's a raw format. So just going to format NTFS. So default option itself is NTFS. So if I give, it will just give a warning that data will be lost. No problem, because it is a unpartitioned space. So it is NTFS. More permissions are available. So it is a NTFS partition. So this kind of exercise is to just ensure we are able to perform partition creation, partition deletion, and this is already active, so we need not worry about activating again. So C drive is an active partition. So I'm deleting the last partition. I'm just trying to extend the volume. So there is a free space available. So what I can do is I can add it with the existing hard disk. So now two partitions merged as one partition. We had E and F for 10 GB. So since it is extended, it is taking only 20 GB as a single partition. So this is one exercise what we can perform in the system. So I told no, you can buy extra hard disk. You do the extend volume, so you'll be able to completely occupy the disk, and you can reduce the volume space in the C drive. So that is one option if at all you are running out of space in C drive. Yeah. So there's a difference between Ntfs, FAT32, FAT16, and FAT12. So FAT12 and all not famous. So we had FAT means FAT16. So next version is FAT32, and the latest version, till latest version, we are having Ntfs. So Ntfs is there from the beginning of NT operating system, but it was downward compatible with FAT. So you can be able to read and write data. So it is interoperating, so no problem or anything. But there are main difference available like file permission restriction, all those things we can do with Ntfs. Okay. The third-party tools used for doing this kind of partition management is listed here. US Partition Manager is very famous, and AOMEI also very famous one. We had Partition Magic earlier, but these are the 10 tools which is topping in the market. So anything you can buy and use in your system. So you can do more things with the help of this third-party tools. Some of the interview questions, like if at all you are taking up the exams, or you are attending the interview with a profile as desktop administrator, or entering into a server administrator field, also this is useful. So some of the questions that we'll see. What is the command used for getting into the disk management console? So we had options, right? Three options we have seen. In that, one option is running the command in run prompt. You have to go to run and type the command disk disk mgmt.msc. So the disk management is the single word, disk mgmt.msc. So that is a single word. How to convert the FAT to NTFS partition without losing the data? Um, so I'm into fourth question. So that is by running the convert command. Okay. So second question, what is the difference between FAT32 and NTFS? We just saw the partition differences. So which is more secure, and FAT32 is available but not secured. Question 3, what is the level of security available with the NTFS? File level security. With the NTFS, we have file level protection. So fourth one is how to convert the FAT to NTFS using the convert command. So fifth one, what is the maximum file size can be used to transfer the data in FAT32? File size can be 2 GB in FAT32. What are the other partition manager tools available in the industry? Just I have given share the list, right? Is US Manager, Partition Magic, so those kind of softwares can be useful. Is it possible to convert from NTFS to FAT32? See, we have the convert tool which is converting FAT partition to NTFS partition, but vice versa is not possible because the command is not supported and operating system is also not supporting. So even in the disk management console also you cannot revert it back. But the third party tools, right? Those tools have the capability like AOMEI. They have done they have created tool so that you can also reversely change the partition. So for safer side, we have to take backup of our data and run the program. Can we configure advanced storage options like RAID in FAT32 system? No. It supports only NTFS partition, first of all. Second is it requires a server hardware. You cannot do it with the desktop hardware. How many hard disks can be attached in a single system? As per IDE, you can have 4 hard disks or 3 hard disks and 1 CD-ROM. SATA also gives 4 hard disks, separate 4 channels, or sometimes you will get additional channels also. So can we configure advanced storage options like RAID in FAT32? No, I said no. How many hard disks can be attached in a single system? That is maximum 4. Then is how many partitions can be created in a single hard disk drive? Single hard disk drive. So you can use tools or anything, but we wanted to restrict within 4 partitions. But as such, you can create partitions from C drive to um, Z drive. So it will be able to accommodate the space and other things. But we are not suggesting to create more than 3 or 4. So we have come to the end. So we have seen how to create partitions, how to manage the disk management software, and how to restrict other people to create partitions. And finally, we have seen some interview questions. Thank you very much.